So welcome back. This is the second part of the rocket. In the first part we have, yes, that built the lower engine basically with the, so the engine, the fuel chambers, including the outer fuel chambers. And now before I properly start the second stage, I will first, I'll say, build a little cap to make the whole thing look a bit more aerodynamic. This is even done in reality, so not exactly in the form I'm building now, but exactly. I'm now creating a sketch again. Or rather, I'm first constructing a plane, then selecting the diameter for the circle again on this plane, so this will be my sketch again. So, Pippi Longstocking, and exactly, choose, right? Make a circle that has exactly the diameter of the cylinders that I built earlier. On the other side, I do exactly the same. So, I first built this plane, and then, as I said, do it again. C for circle, diameter again, 3.66 meters. And then I have on both sides these sketches first, and now I construct an offset plane on both sides, about 2 meters above this first stage. Exactly. You'll see shortly, so you have to do this to build these cones. I want to simply draw a point in this plane, and as I said, I have to do this on both sides. I choose the point here to be very small, of course, because it is supposed to be a cone, and not another cylinder on top of it. And then I have it finished on the first side. As mentioned, you have to do it again on the second side, which means constructing here again, offset plane 2 meters above. Build the cylinder, and then I create again here the sketch. See, I'll have a circle. Select the center point. And exactly, for the diameter, I then choose this 3.66 meters again. Oh, no, not at all. Here, I choose a small diameter again for the diameter, as I had the 3.66 meters below. Exactly, and then I make an elevation here. First, I select the outer circle, here and just above this point. And exactly, you can also check how the edges should look. If you want to shift something, I found it somehow, I actually found it quite good. Now like this, as a little hat. And exactly, as I said, we want to check once more. I think that's okay like this. And then I can simply go to connect. Or rather, I want to merge and connect it and then click OK. And then I've built my first little hat here. On the other side, I do exactly the same again. So here again on elevation, then select the outer edge and okay, now I've selected something wrong. Okay, cancel the whole thing here again. Exactly, elevation again. I'll just adjust this nicely here so I can see what I'm doing. Exactly, then select the outer circle. So now it worked. The point at the top. Exactly. And then I already have my 2 little hats finished. Since nothing more will be built on these outer boosters, they will remain as they are. And in the end, I'll just color them again. Exactly. So, and now, I'll build another offset plane on the middle cylinder, because now I'm adding the second stage here, building, and then as mentioned, a cylinder on this second offset plane. The diameter is again 3.6 meters. And the second stage then has a height of 12.6 meters. I have adjusted that again. I had said that I would like to have the scale reconstruct. Exactly, so here, as mentioned, height 12.60 meters. And I want this as a new body. And that's how the whole thing looks already. Press OK. So now I have this second stage. Exactly. And Now I build here. On top of that comes, so this is not a third stage. In principle, it's like a payload, meaning the supply capsule, the astronaut capsule, whatever. So I do that again with an offset plane. I build another cylinder on top of that. Now, one would have to check, because the third stage has a slightly larger diameter, which is 5.2 meters. And the third stage is then again 13.2 meters high. And I do that again, of course, as mentioned, height 13.2 meters, diameter I had already specified, and then again a new body. Then, did I specify something incorrectly? No. Oh right, no, exactly. I had changed it to 11.2 meters. The specifications were a bit different. Exactly. And now I build an offset plane on this upper level again, and do the same as on the side boosters once more. That means I build here an offset plane above it again, which means for the point, so to speak, to build my little cap. And exactly on the upper level I make a very, very small one. Circle, so again 0.01 meters in diameter. And on the lower level, I had just made the circle. Made the plane, exactly. And here I make another circle, according to the size of my cylinder that I have here. So, as I said, these are then 5.2 meters in diameter. So, exactly. And now I already have my sketch for my cone, then creates a protrusion again. Exactly, so we adjust it again. Select the outer circle here in the point at the top. Your body. So we need to connect. And then you have your cone. This is now basically already your finished basic framework. Now I will round off the edges here, simply because I think it looks nicer than when it's really sharp. It just looks more realistic then. Then just press round off like before, just like at the beginning with the engines when I rounded them off. Basically, it's exactly the same. Here I also select the edge. You can play around to see what looks best. It's just exactly like that. And now you basically have here the finished rocket. Exactly as I said, I will now just round off a few more of the other edges, simply as I said, to make it look more realistic. You can also select both at the same time so that the rounding is exactly the same on both sides. So this is now your finished basic framework. And now I will just color them. I will do that in the next video. Until then,